Assalamu alaikum, my name is Salahuddin Muhammad. Due to current events, especially up in New York City where I plan on splitting my time between Philadelphia and New York City, there is a new game, sick game. They've graduated from the knockout game to the slash game. Please do your best to be aware. Headphones and getting lost up in the environment and what you're doing with no awareness is a dangerous thing. They're coming up, they're slashing people in the face and the neck, and this is a sick game. We do live in a sick society. You got to be careful out there. There are people that do these things for nothing more than sheer boredom. A lot of them, when they're arrested, you ask them why they did it. Well, I think it has to do with gang initiation or whatever the reason it's sick. So I would like to address a few things about the knife or the blade. We have an upcoming Tanto Jutsu DVD. This is not the DVD, just a few ideas to help you out and perhaps keep you safe. When you deal against a knife and someone is determined to kill you, you are going to get slashed. I don't care about your skill level. I've been training with knives most of my adult life. And our system is a weapons-based system, whether it is bladed or stick weapons or flexible weapons such as a belt, a chain, or a rope. You can expect to get slashed, nicked at the very least. My body, working in the environments that I've worked, I've faced real knife and real duress. And let me tell you, it doesn't work out the way it does in the dojo. Now, can you be precise? Can you be fluid and devastating? Yes. A lot of that comes down to what you have in here, what you've developed here. Learn to read body language, all right? And also develop a perimeter, not some paranoid nutcase kind of thing, where you don't want to hug your brother or your sister because you're afraid. That's not what I'm referring to. What I mean is, even those that are close to me, I have certain boundaries that I have. When I come into a room, I check certain things. I'll do further deep videos on that, but right now we're just talking about the blade. Taking a look at reports from the coroner's office, autopsies, and having seen many real attacks, you will notice that the defensive wounds are often to the insides of the hand and the insides of the arm. This is not a location where you want to take a slash or a stab. If this happens, you're going to bleed profusely, but also lose the mobility of your hand if the cut is deep enough. The next thing, it does not take an overwhelming amount of power to cut deeply. A sharp knife with accurate technique can really do a number on you, and they don't have to put a lot of strength into it. So that's another misconception. A child, a 10-year-old with a blade can kill a trained person. Oftentimes ego and teachings put forth by those that have not worked under duress are teaching things about the knife and knife self-defense that will get them killed. Next, when training with a knife, be sure that you learn to lead with the blade. I see people that do a lot of drills, and we do them ourselves. In our Aiki Jiu-Jitsu system, they are called Kaiken no Nagashi. Okay? They're not exactly the same as the Filipino drills, but they have all the same benefits. That's another misconception, is that Japanese knife work all looks like this. Those are people that have never seen Tanto Jutsu, and few have. Real Tanto Jutsu, they're doing karate with a knife, doing a lunge block or a lunge punch or some kind of block. That is not Tanto Jutsu. Tanto Jutsu has an ebb and flow that is all its own. So when you're doing these drills, which is my point, don't lead with your forearm. I see guys get into really fast stuff, and when you slow it down, you see that they're really opening themselves up to victimization, especially on the insides of the arm. If you get cut on the brachial artery, you're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. A lot of people let their arms flop around when a knife is coming in at them. They'll move out of the way and the arm's out here. Well, if you get cut on the brachial artery, you only have a few minutes. All right? if you get cut on the carotid artery, if you get cut across the front of the throat. These are very dangerous things. Knife fighting and knife self-defense should not be a topic taught by those that do not understand the topic. Far too often it is. Jump spin kicks and all this stuff against the knife, not against somebody that knows what they're doing. Now, another thing is most knife attacks do not look like this. They're going to stab multiple times, bull rush. They may push you back and stab as they come in. There are answers to these, but they are not this. I'm not trying to offend anyone, especially my friends, but that stuff does not work. It's fantasy. If someone went to do that kind of middle block on me, I would just withdraw and cut back. So those blocks are not good at all against somebody that knows what they're doing with a knife. And just be careful because it's hectic. Happens fast. There's a lot of adrenaline. If you don't know what to do with that adrenaline dump, you're going to be caught up. You're going to be caught up in the moment. Another thing, not that I would want to, but if I were attacking you with my Tanto Jitsu, it's not going to look like what you're learning in your dojo. It's not going to look like what you see in self-defense tapes. I'm not going to pull my blade and go, come on, now we're doing a knife fight. Nope. If she comes out, you're not going to see her till it's too late. I'm not pulling, taking a kamae, and we are starting a self-defense demonstration. I have unique ways to hide the drawing of my blade. So if you throw a punch at me, I'm going to turn my nagashi, or flowing reception, which means to receive, uke nagashi, flowing reception. Uke does not mean block. This is that's a whole other topic. So as I'm deflecting, I will deflect and draw my blade, and it's going to come up out of nowhere. I have blades on me at all times. That's how I walk around. I'm going to have to adjust that when I move to New York City, as I keep hearing. That stinks for me. But I'll improvise. Now, so don't make the assumption it's going to be some open battle that you've seen in some movie. If I'm coming with you with a blade, I'm not going to let you see it. So you're not going to have some planned defensive maneuver. You know, I'm going to get you. And there are a lot of other people that feel that way as well. If I pull this, you're in some trouble. The three primary gripping methods that we use, and I'll cover two of them today, are honte, the primary gripping method, the primary hand, and yakute. So allow me to adjust myself, please. When I hold the knife, I don't hold it like this. I don't like that grip. Just as in Kenjutsu, we hold it across the hand. There are times that I reinforce with my thumb, and there are times that I do not. So once again, across the palm, closed hand in. When I use the knife, I don't lead with my forearm. You get a lot of sloppy stuff, especially with what I call the drill masters. They're phenomenal. They're fast. They'll make you go ooh and ah. But I've slowed down many of them, and I'm telling you right now, they are asking to be Swiss cheese. So lead with the blade. Our cutting quality is a little different. It's not just an arm swing, but rather an nameroku, which is cross body, and I'm using factors in my body to create my cut. Gyakute is the same principle of going across the hand, and I bring my blade across here. I can cut, I can do a lot of different things here. This space here, which you're going to see in our DVD, is used a lot. We do wonderful locks, throws, chokes, and we use every part of the blade. But here, we call that kakedori. I can capture. If it's a double-edged blade and I do that capture, then you're in some trouble. If someone throws a punch at me, now I'll address that in a second, I will fillet right up the arm, right up the inside of the arm, and I guess you can imagine what would happen to all of this. You don't want to take a cut to the brachial artery, carotid artery, femoral artery. You don't want to take a stab anywhere, really, but the armpit or anywhere where all these vital organs are. So this is just a little segment. I just saw something on knife self-defense that disturbed me. YouTube can be fun, but it can also be very annoying. There are far too many pseudo grandmasters and such out there that are going to get people killed. They do look flashy, I'll tell you. If you don't know what you're doing, those guys look fantastic. But when you start breaking this down, especially blade at work, you have to be very, very careful. So again, if I'm pulling this on you, and I mean you harm, it's not going to look the way that you think. I'm posting videos about people that are fighting with a blade too, and they're untrained. They're standing there like this and trying to do this. That's not what I'm doing. I'm going to receive something, break something, draw a blade, and then that's it. You're going to feel like you're a fish at Seafood Shanty. But just be careful out there. Remember this slasher game. So when you're at the corner, don't blindly just, here, pay close attention. There are very mean, evil people out there that wake up in the morning and they decide that someone has to hurt because they're hurting in here. Be careful, watch your crowd, train your skill sets, and be aware. Assalamu alaikum.